Good morning. Welcome to Thriving Talks. Anthony. Today we're going to have a self conversation. For those that are new to the channel, we make mental health conversations, the content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development, right? But in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about the benefits of journaling for emotional clarity and self-awareness, right? So I want to show you how journaling, can be a powerful, right, but science-backed tool to process your emotions, deep self-awareness, in addition to enhancing that mental health. There's no perfect grammar or fancy notebook that you gotta, have that's required. You just gotta be able to be present and be willing to be open, and the transformation, the growth will happen, right? This is a little bit, And before we dive into this video, I'm gonna be vulnerable. Give me a number from 1 to 1,000. But I'm gonna read one off the rip right here. So this was 5/30, which was May 30th, 2023, right? So it was my last day of May 30th, 2023 today, and it was a great, productive day. I began my morning with a nice shower. Before I arrived to work, I stopped at the cafe, juiced up to get myself my favorite smoothie, happy ever after. In a minute, my smoothie was done. I proceeded to work and arrived early. I pulled down my shades and bumped my music. As I sipped the smoothie, I peeped a woman knocking on my door and peeped through the glass window. I opened the door and greeted the woman. She was looking for housing assistance, but was one door down from the right location. I directed her with appreciation and she thanked me, and she went her way. Later, I interacted with some young adults, and around 3:30 p.m. had my therapy session. Our session was great and impactful. It makes me feel good impacting my life experiences with a professional. Lastly, I was able to edit a YouTube video called The Discipline. I find this topic important and began the discussion on it, experiences on that month. This month of Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm happy to provide mental health encouragement. Great productive day, right? So that was crazy because it's just like, regardless of what the grammar was, or just how it just was the flow of the text or whatever. There's no intro, body, ending, whatever type, or conclude. This ain't no essay, you feel me? This is just you to kind of just, a free space where you're just able to be open, explore, talk about your day, great attributes, some things that made you feel uncomfortable, whatever, or good things that made you feel good. It doesn't matter. This is somewhere that's able to just kind of just vent, right? So I was able to kind of just open up to you because that was in 2023, which was 2 years ago, and I just want you guys to see a little insight about, really, the benefits of this journaling, and I'm really applying this. This is really what I want to do. So stick with me in this video, and you're going to be able to grow a little bit more. So in the introduction, we're going to be talking about, your mind feels full, but you're actually processing anything, right? So, your brain wasn't meant to, hold everything at once. Where journaling comes in, is able to, like I said, where you're able to be that writer and give your mind peace of mind by, applying this. So first key point we're going to dive right into is going to be, you carry emotional clutter daily. There's different things that we experience, right? I made a video about microaggressions. So people are projecting their emotions and their, onto you, and you're taking those in. You're like, it's messing up with your mental health and your mind, how you're perceiving yourself, and you self-sabotaging. That's where the stress, depression, all these different things start to, come in addition to, other factors as well, right? But journaling is a form of mental decluttering, right? So you don't need to be a beautiful writer or professional writer, or be an English major to do this. It just has a beautiful benefit when you write. So when it comes to research insights, expressing writing helps reduce intrusive thoughts, improve mood, and lower stress related physical symptoms. So like I said, this is going to change your world by when you just kind of just are able to just get that pen, get that pencil, crayon, whatever you got to do, and just really just write. Let's start there, right? So let's move on. Why journaling works, psychology behind it. So writing slows down your thoughts and allows reflection. It helps name the emotion. We can name and tame what's going on when we're able to, write. And then it shifts us to reactivate the mode to mindful processing, right? So we're able to really process, critical think, and really kind of just come back and really think about what's really going on, right? So research insight, journaling activates the brain left hemisphere, right? So of logical thinking, allowing the right hemisphere, which is the emotions, to be observed for more clarity, right? So like I said, we're able to use that rational and that critical thinking to be able to really assess what's going on when we write things down, right? So I think that's really important when we're able to like kind of just identify what's going on. So when we feel confused, when we feel like uncomfortable, you know what I mean? By doing this, this is really going to be able to help us get some more clarity. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about the mental benefits of journaling, right? So what are we gaining from this, right? So someone just wants to ask, right? So reducing anxiety, let's start there, and depressive symptoms. Like, so if we don't want to feel torn from the floor, this is going to help us, shimmy that away, right? So it improves emotional regulation and resilience. This is really big, right? So we need to understand that life is not going to be Candyland. Life's not going to be sweet. We're going to have difficult situations and things coming our way. And this is going to be something that's going to help us navigate through and give us that armor that we need, right? It enhances self-awareness and decision-making as well. It helps process trauma and difficult experiences for safety. In regards to research insight, regular journaling can be linked to lowering cortisol levels, which is that stress hormone, improve immune functioning, and reduce rumination, right? So that poor way of thinking, that negative thinking, right? So we really got to really take this in consideration because, like I said, it has those benefits when we journal. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about types of journaling, right? So pick what fits for you. There's different types of styles. I free flow, I just do my thing. However, like I said, different type of styles, and find what fits you. So we'll talk about number one, which is expressive writing. So write what feels about your emotions, your events, of your thoughts. No filter, just do your thing. Like I said, best for emotional processing and mental clarity. That's what I do right here. So if we want to put a name on it, we do expressive writing. Next is reflective journaling, right? So you explore questions like, what did I learn today? What triggered me, right? So this is best for self-awareness and personal growth. Next, we're going to be talking about gratitude journaling. This is a big one right here. So I look at this, I do a mix, you know what I mean? So list 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for every day. So, you know what I mean? Each day you want to be able to kind of identify something like that, 3 to 5, right? So best for mood boosting and shifting focus from, scarcity to abundance, right? So you're over here like, I can't do enough, I can't get enough, someone broke my heart, This is really going to be able to shift, you know what I mean? You can get more, you can get back on your feet, you know what I mean? Like one situation that can determine your life, you're going to really be able to see the fruits when you're able to be grateful and, think positively. You heard? So next, we're going to be talking about prompt-based journaling, right? So use structured questions to spark insight, right? So what do I need to let go of? Best for, getting unstuck or building a habit, right? So these are just prompt-based journaling is, a great one for that. In regards to some research insights, gratitude journaling is linked to increased optimism, stronger relationships, and reduced depressive symptoms. Like I said, when we're writing about some grateful, having positive mindset, you know what I mean? We're thanking the Most High for allowing us to be here. We breathe in, you know what I mean? We still here regardless of what things are, and we just grateful for what we have. We ain't thinking about what other people got just because that person just pulled up in a little Rolls Royce. What that got to do with me? You feel me? Like, you're just thinking about what we're grateful for, you know what I mean? And just being appreciative and loving our neighbor, yeah, I mean, having that good atmosphere and just authenticity is going to help us long term. But like I said, we got to be doing what? Journaling, you heard? So moving on to the next, we're going to be talking about common barriers and how to get past them, right? So key points I want to talk about is I don't have time, right? We got to be changed that to what? Try 5 micro journaling, you know what I mean? So 5 minutes, you know what I mean? So another one is I don't know what to write. Like I said, we can use the mindset, shifting that to positive is going to be use prompts to start with today I feel, you know what I mean? Or even for me, most of my things I put like the date, like it's 11:57 and I'm about to go to sleep, but it's been a long day and I'm happy today, and I just go into it, right? So the time, you know what I mean, the date, obviously, and then just, you know what I mean, just jump right into it. However, another mindset that you may have is I'm scared someone will read it, which is you're big on confidentiality, you're big on, your privacy. We understand that, but positive mindset is, let me tell you something right now, you gotta be responsible. You could put it somewhere and keep it private, right? Password protected, or shred the pages after, you know, you're reading it. Do what you gotta do, right? But as long as you applied yourself, you was present, you did the journaling, you applied yourself, and you know what I mean? You made something happen. Nothing is something, right? That growth is gonna happen. You're gonna see it. But do what you gotta do. And one thing I do too is I keep my journal in my backpack. So as I'm on the move, as I'm going to different places, I'm going to work, it's with me. You heard? So it's like, do what you gotta do, but I understand the privacy could be a big factor. But when it comes to some recent insights, even short, consistent journaling, right, some 5 to 10 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week, leads to measurable psychological and, you know, improvements, right? So I just want us to, you know, take that into consideration. Or even if that's even too much, maybe once a weekend, 2 times on the weekend. So on Saturday and Sunday, when you wake up before you go to sleep, you know what I mean, you're doing that, and you're gonna be able to see a shift. And the more you apply yourself, the more improvements and the beneficial it's going to be. So I just want to be able to take that into consideration in regards to common barriers. We have to shift our mindset. If we want to be able to grow, we want to be able to, reap the benefits. We got to be consistent. We got to be more disciplined, and we have to be able to work these things in and changing the negative mindset to what? A positive mindset. So our next segment, we're going to be talking about how, you know, to make journaling a habit, you know, that actually can stick and that actually can resonate with us, you know, for us, right? So pair journaling with an existing routine, right? So the same way you're over here waking up and you're making your morning coffee, your bedtime wind down, like find time to, you know what I mean, get that journaling in there and make it happen. So you're sipping your tea, you're sipping your coffee, you're doing your thing. You know what I mean? Get to that table, find a table, sit somewhere, right? Start small. No need to write a novel. Like I said, you ain't gotta write no journal, like, you know what I mean? You gotta go crazy with it, but just do something where you're able to just get these emotions out. Next is letting go of perfectionism. It's for you, not for an audience. So do what you got to do for you, your well-being. In regards to research insights, habits are. Oh, you guys are good.
Yeah.
Habits are more likely to stick when you're tired, to an emotion and identity, right? So I'm someone who reflects and grows, right? So like I said, when you apply yourself and you make this a habit, it's more likely to stick with you or resonate with you, rather than you just, you know, you just do it one time and you just kind of just leave it and just let it just sit and it's collecting dust and it's just a thought now. You feel me? So really, I want you guys to, like I said, practice this to the best of your capabilities. Journaling is a life changer. I'm not gonna hold you. When I got myself a therapist and I got myself a journal, I'm over here like, I ain't going, you feel me? The little diary, like a little shorty, whatever, like this ain't gonna be me, whatever. But once I got the pencil, once I got the paper, and like I said, let me look at this right here. I'm gonna read this to you right here. I'm gonna read this to you because this is the journal that I got, and the year is 2022. And you guys see it right there. 9/10/2022, and look where we're currently at right now. Like, this is not a game. And I did one this morning. You heard 8/16/2025. So, and it's 9/04 right now. So I'm live in the flesh. Like, this is years and years of growth, years and years and pages of work that I had to put in. And I really want you guys to reap the benefits and see the side and see the things that I'm seeing. You feel me? In your vision, you feel me? But in a real way, because this is something that is life-changing, and journaling won't fix everything. Don't get it twisted. You know, seek your therapist. Find coping mechanisms that are beneficial to you. Have your self-care regimen, right? But what I can provide for you is that you will receive mental clarity when you journal, and the noise in the world will be more quiet when you find time for yourself. So I really want you guys, once again, to journal. And if you found that this video was beneficial, throw a thumbs up, share it if possible, comment if necessary, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for thriving with me. Take it easy.